You guys, I have an idea and I'm running with it. I am running full force. I'm not even putting any more thought into it than I have for the past couple of hours. An idea popped into my head this morning, inspired by those scrappy strips that I worked on last night. Video down below. I'm just going to love this series. I know it. I'm not even afraid of not wanting to finish it. This series will be probably once per week. I don't really want to do more than that because I want to do other things too. But I thought if this one works out and I see it through to completion, then I can just start another one right away. So here's my idea, and I will explain to you how it came about. I was very addicted to making the scrappy strips. If you watched my video about the scrappy strips, where the hell is the long one? Well, I don't know if it's this one, but I made a strip. I don't know if this is the exact one, but I made a strip out of tiny scraps. And I like the looks of things tiny. Now, some of these aren't tiny, but, you know, for the most part, these are tiny little narrow pieces. Sometimes I like to make things look small, but these I actually started out with tiny little scraps. So I was enjoying this so much that I made this one. I was busy just zoning out. This one, little crooked there, crooked's allowed. This one, and then I started one more. I could have just attached this to something else, but look at this one. These were all little narrow pieces, yes, that I dug out of my trash. I went back to that more than once after that video. And so I just started that one. And then I had some longer scraps that were like next to the salvage. And what I do is I'll cut and keep maybe a little bit of the salvage because that can get lost in the seam allowance. So I had some narrow strips longer, and I thought I'm just going to leave these longer for something else. So when I woke up this morning, I had these strips like all nicely laid out on my table, and they just struck me as being so incredibly beautiful that I thought I need to put these into a project, a planned project. And what I wanted to do, because I have held them together, and you know, I like that. That's a nice cool strip set thing, but it kind of takes away from the individual strips. I have one backwards because I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it's cool, it's awesome, but I want each piece to shine. So I thought how cool it would be to just put those in a quilt somewhere and then just have all these strips throughout this quilt, any old place that I feel like putting it, so that each strip shines. It can be a short piece, it can be a long piece, I didn't care. And then I thought, how about I add some blocks and other things to the same quilt and have them be any size to begin with, and then just put everything together with the background that would be probably like white or off-white. I want something bright that's just going to make these pieces shine. And, you know, even if you have a little block and a big block, you just sash all around so that you can put this thing together. And it's a sampler quilt. And I was like, oh my God, I love this idea so much. I am so excited about this. I just hope that I can contain myself and not like want to do it all in one week. I really want this to be a weekly thing. And then I thought it could be on a weekend and have it be like Sampler Quilt Saturday. But today's Sunday and I'm talking about it. So I think I'm going to go with Sampler Quilt Sunday, SQS. Can you see that on my refrigerator? That Sampler Quilt Sunday, I can jump in and show you guys what I've made that will go toward my sampler quilt, and or also show you along the way. And if I really want to show you something in between, I will. And then I can just wrap it all up on Sundays and say, okay, I did do a video for this and for that. If this series goes well, then I would like to start another one right after. And each one could have its own theme. So this one is going to be all miniature piecing. Whether I start big and make it look small, but I want things to be little in this one throughout. So I thought of my other things that I've done, because remember, first I did this, like the postage size, postage stamp size. I don't know if this is going to make it into this quilt because that's not miniature. I want miniature. But then remember, I did some miniature like this to make it look like 1/2 inch, like we started with 1/2 inch. So I have this for this quilt. I have this. I have this. I have this one. So I'm off to a good start. I've got all those strips. Oh, I have one more. And then look, didn't I have 2 this size? Let me go look, because I thought my idea was to put this into, to make a tote bag. Hang on. I don't see it. Maybe the plan was to just put 4 more of these together and make the other part. I don't know. I'd have to go watch my old videos on this. I'm so excited. Just so excited. I'm going to pick the background that I want at Marden's so I can see it, and I'm going to be taking, you know, a lot of my pieces with me, and I'm just going to have so much fun with this. So I'm very anxious to get started. Now, like I said, this, you know, it's perfectly cut and everything. It was ready to be part of a tote bag tutorial, but I think it's going in my sampler quilt because that's what I want. I don't know if I will include batiks in this one. That could be another whole sampler quilt series. Batiks. I want to do improv sampler quilts. I want to do paper piecing sampler quilts. I haven't jumped into that yet, but I think I'm going to be. I love the designing part, and I can design that like on graph paper and design my sampler quilt blocks, and I can design my blocks for paper piecing. And if I can ever even figure out how to share those patterns with you guys, I'd like to do that. I just have so many ideas for sampler quilts. Now, if you look up sampler quilts, a lot of them will be that, you know, people will just make like, you know, 4 blocks across by 6, and it's, you know, blocks, and it's all just different blocks. It's like they practice how to make a particular block and they put it together. My sampler quilt is going to be like scattered. I don't like things to be so, you know, I don't know. I just like things to be wild and wacky. I don't like things to be just, oh, block, 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 block. So I'm just going to do mine the way I feel like doing it, which will almost always have a touch of improv. Well, it's all improv because I'm going to be just improvising as I go. And I think that that's the best way for me to do this shit. And then I am also going to plan this out. Like I will measure, and I can do online graph paper, and, you know, create blocks so that the scale is correct and arrange how I want to put them. At the beginning, I'm just going to make whatever I feel like making, whatever size it turns out to be. But then toward the end, I might need to fill here and there, and then that will have to have more thought into it. Like I need something like maybe 10 inches long by 5 inches wide, stuff like that. Or just fill in with little things. Another thing that I thought would be super, super cute would be if there's places where there's going to be a lot of white or whatever I decide for my background, I could put maybe some novelty pieces in there with a cute little image, or I can fussy cut something with like pretty flowers or whatever. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so let me give you some ideas that I have for the miniature version that we're doing this time. This is not going to be a miniature quilt top. It's just that the pieces inside are going to be miniature. Now, am I going to end up having that on eBay? I certainly hope so, because I don't like to hoard things anymore. I've got enough hoarding going on. I can't contribute to that, so I really want things to go away, but I'm going to have a very emotional attachment to this, I know. But then I don't like memories, so even if I finished it and put it somewhere, I don't want to see that all the time and have memories of, oh, remember when I used to do that stuff on YouTube? I don't like memories. I just don't. I don't like creating new ones, good ones, bad ones, none of them. I don't like memories, so I don't think I want that in this house. I just hope I can bring myself to part with it. The parting part is painful for a somewhat hoarder. And I have a very hard time with that, but we'll worry about that when we get there. And if I throw myself into another one, I mean, really, can I part with this? I did this. Oh, it's gonna have to go. That's all there is to it. So here are some ideas from my other blocks for this particular sampler quilt. Miniature half square triangles. Huh? Of course, I'm going to try to find a way to do this, and I'm sure I can, I think, without sewing little tiny squares together and then, you know, sewing on each side of the line and then opening them up. I'm going to try to find a different way. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure I can. Oh, of course I can. I have an idea in my head right now. I might go try it when I hang up here. Miniature half square triangles. Miniature chevron. Either with the way we place the half square triangles, and that's another thing. I can make miniature half square triangles and then just do blocks in different, you know, how you can lay them out in different ways and it looks like a pinwheel or this or that. So I can have a lot of fun with that. As I can with the strips, I can cut some of those strip sets and turn them and, you know, make 4-patch blocks with the strips going in different directions. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. So miniature chevron, either by how I place the half square triangles or just by doing it with strips. Also, I could do like a hexie, half a hexie, I think it's called. That's going to be exciting and fun. I even thought of doing some blocks, miniature bargello, where it's all strip sets and then you cut and you just adjust each strip a little bit to make it look like a bargello piece. Crazy quilt blocks, miniature crazy quilt blocks, where I just go around, and around, but all like small stuff. Also miniature crumb quilting, where it's just all over the place and it's all crumbs. I can't wait. Tiny triangles. That might also be interesting. So I'm going to give that a try maybe. And I'm just going to come up with all kinds of things. I even want to show you a way that I learned, and when I do that, I'll share that video, how to do tiny, narrow sashing without it being a major pain in the ass. So all of this stuff is on the way. Since this series is new and I'm not sure how it's going to work, and especially at the beginning, I might want to jump in sooner with some other ideas or showing you something, but I'm really going to try to have it be on Sundays, and even if I jump in, have an update video on Sundays, Sampler Quilt Sundays. Let's do that for a while until I don't feel like doing it anymore. How's that sound? Stay tuned for more. I'm so excited. I think you can tell that I'm excited about this. I am. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.